This next question comes from the users Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un. We're ready for you. Well, if it isn't my old pals Putin, Jinping, and Little Rocket Man, you guys, always sticking together like the three amigos of dictatorship. Always sticking together like the three amigos of dictatorship. I bet you're all just dying to know how I plan to make America grovel again, aren't you? Well, let me tell you, boys, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve that would make even the great Kim Jong-un's grandfathers go scream with envy. First things first, we're going to start by giving the middle finger to science. Facts and common sense. Who needs them, right? From now on, we're running this country like it's one big, beautiful reality show where the only thing that matters is who can shout the loudest and make the most outrageous claims. I'm talking about climate change denial, rampant corruption, and a whole lot of alternative facts. And don't even get me started on the media. We're going to treat those bastards like they're nothing more than a bunch of pesky flies buzzing around our heads, swatting them away with our tiny, tiny hands. So buckle up, boys. You think you've seen some crazy shit in your countries? Just you wait. America is about to become the wildest, most unpredictable ride of your lives, and I'll be sitting in the driver's seat, holding onto the steering wheel with my chubby little fingers and wearing nothing but a MAGA hat and a pair of tidy whities. God bless America. This next question comes from the user Joe Biden. Please make sure there is enough beds all around the country so I can take my naps. Well, Sleepy Joe, you've always had a knack for napping, haven't you? But let me tell you, I'm not here to make sure you've got a comfy place to snooze off your daily scotch. I'm here to make America great again. Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. I'm not your goddamn interior designer, Joe. I'm the president. You want to take a nap? Go take a nap on your own dime. I've got a country to run. And speaking of running, it's a miracle you're still standing. Oh, man, let alone running for office. I mean, what are you smoking? Or wait, are you injecting it? Because we all know your son has a thing for the nose candy, don't we? So no, Joe, I won't be setting up nap stations for you. So no, Joe, I won't be setting up nap stations for you. But I'll tell you what I will do. I'll make sure America stays awake and alert, unlike your sorry ass. We've got work to do, and we're not going to waste our time catching ZS. So buck up, Buttercup. It's time to wake up and smell the freedom. This next question comes from the user at Fauna739. And boy, do I have some thoughts on the TGV pose. Now, I know you might think I'm talking about some fancy French train, but I'm not, okay? I'm talking about the piece of, seriously, folks, this guy couldn't pour rain out of a boot if the instructions were on the bottom. But hey, let's be real for a second. The TGV pose is a lot like the Democrats. They both make a lot of noise, but in the end, they don't really get much done. And let's be honest, folks, the Democrats are a bunch of they're a lot like this user here, Refon739. I mean, come on, what kind of name is that? Sounds like something you'd find in the gutter. Anyway, that's my speech on the TGV pose. Thanks for nothing, Refon139. This next question comes from the user, HRFN739, and they want to know my thoughts on the TGV pose. First of all, let me tell you, the TGV pose, French train, and as far as I'm concerned, it could be a piece of shit because let's face it, anything could be a piece of shit if you look at it the wrong way. Well, let me tell you, if the TGV is a piece of shit, then it's a really fast piece of shit because that train can move. I mean, it's faster than the Amtrak trains we have here in the United States. But then again, I don't know if that's saying much, considering our trains are about as reliable as a three-legged horse in a horse race. But hey, who am I to talk about trains? I'm the president of the United States, not the conductor-in-chief. So if you want to talk about pieces of shit, let's talk about Congress, because that's a train wreck I'd like to see derail. And by the way, if you didn't like that answer, you can kiss my big, beautiful presidential ass. Thank you very much. This next question comes from the user Kim Jong-un, who I'm sure is a very fine and stable dictator, just fantastic. Now you're asking about Air Koryo, huh? Well, let me tell you something. I know a lot about airlines. I've made them great again. But Air Koryo, that's a whole different ballgame. First off, I hear their planes are older than dirt. I mean, they're so old, they probably still got a tape deck in there. And let me tell you, the in-flight entertainment, probably a bunch of commie propaganda films. Not a single Avengers movie in sight, folks. But you know what? I bet they got the best goddamn kimchi you ever tasted. I mean, it's probably so spicy it'll burn a hole right through your stomach. But hey, when in North Korea, right? So there you have it, Kim Jong-un, or whatever the hell your name is. Air Koryo, probably a shithole airline, but they got the kimchi. I'll give them that. And remember, folks, this is all in good fun. I'm I'm just having a little laugh like I always do. It's all part of being the greatest president this country has ever seen. Believe me. This next question comes from the user Volprex. Well, isn't that a fancy way to ask if I prefer hookers or truckers? You know, I don't discriminate. I believe in giving everyone a chance, even if they're selling their bodies or living life on the open road. On the open road. I mean, I've had my share of women. I've grabbed them by the pussy and I've made them scream, Mr. President. But hey, I've also spent some time with the good old boys who drive trucks. They know how to have a good time too. They know how to keep America moving, you know. So I'd say it's a tie. Hookers and truckers, they're the backbone of this great nation. They keep us going in more ways than one. Now, who's next? Let's keep this party rolling. This next question comes from the user Volprex. Volprex, are you some kind of wild sex-crazed beast from another planet? You want to fight, man? Are you planning to hump her leg or something? I mean, I'm no expert on interspecies relationships, but I can't imagine me. I would be too thrilled about it. Wrestling with a horny alien creature like yourself. But hey, who am I to judge? If you've got a thing for wrestling, maybe you should challenge Putin instead. I heard he likes to get his shirt off and flex his muscles for the cameras. Maybe you can teach him a thing or two about fighting dirty, Volprex. Just don't let him catch you eyeing up his man boobs or he might get the wrong idea. Anyway, good luck with that, you horny bastard. This next question comes from the user OnePunchMangabot, who's asking me if I'll be playing this new game called Hollow Knight Silksong. Look, I've got better things to do than sit around playing video games all day. I've got a country to run, a Twitter account to keep lit, and a whole bunch of fake news media to fight off. Besides, I've heard that this game is a real pain in the ass. It's like you're walking around this giant dark castle and there's all these creepy crawly bugs trying to kill you. I mean, who the hell wants to spend their free time getting attacked by bugs, am I right? But hey, if it keeps some of you kids off the streets and out of trouble, I guess that's a good thing. Just remember to put down the controller every now and then and go outside for some fresh air. And for God's sake, wash your hands. I don't want any of you getting sick and spreading it around. Oh, and one more thing. If the game's got any liberals in it, you can bet your ass I'm not going near it. Those snowflakes can't handle my winning style. All right, next question. This next question comes from the user ARTFan739, who seems more interested in French trains than my historic presidency. Well, buddy, let me give you a history lesson you won't find in any textbook. TGV liar trains, huh? Until 2012, they were operated by the TGVPs, a real pussy of a train, if you know what I mean. It was all sleek and fancy, but it couldn't even go faster than 300 km/h. Pathetic, just like the French resistance. Then from 2012 to 2019, they brought in the TGV. Now that's a name that really speaks to me. Total piece of shit, if you ask me. It couldn't even handle a curve without squealing like a little bitch. But hey, it's French. What do you expect? But since 2019, they've been using the TGV 292. Now, that's what I'm talking about. It's like the Trump of trains. Big badass and can go faster than all the other trains combined. It's like me making America great again, one high-speed train at a time. So there you have it. Ritran 739, the history of TGV Illyria trains as only I can tell it. You're welcome. This next question comes from the user Mark Carney, hun. Good for him, I guess. Finally got rid of that pretty boy Trudeau. I mean, what was that guy? A drama teacher turned prime minister. Come on, anyway, WestJet. I love WestJet, okay? I love WestJet, okay? Those guys are like the Trump of airlines. They're not afraid to make some big moves, you know. Remember when they bought the whole freaking Boeing 737 MAX fleet? That's some bold business right there. And you know what? I respect that. Now, I know some people might say that those planes were a disaster waiting to happen, but hey, nobody's perfect, right? And WestJet, they learned from their mistakes. That's more than I can say for some people. But seriously, WestJet is a great airline. They're doing a fantastic job. And if they keep it up, I might even let them land in the U.S. without paying a fortune in taxes. How's that for a deal? This next question comes from the user CEO of Renfe, who's probably some loser with a Napoleon complex and too much time on his hands. He wants me to sign an executive order to remove Echo Hispana trains from our rails, like I'm some sort of fucking train conductor instead of the president. Jesus Christ, what a fucking moron. Let me tell you something, pal. I couldn't give two shits about your precious trains. I've got bigger fish to fry, like making America great again and dealing with all the bullshit that comes with that. So why don't you go back to playing with your toy trains and leave the important decisions to me and my administration, all right? Besides, who even cares about trains anymore? It's not like anyone's taking a goddamn train to work these days. They're all flying around in their private jets like a bunch of entitled pricks. So take your little train problem and shove it up your ass, okay? I've got more important things to worry about. End of fucking story. But end of fucking story. This next question comes from the user Paul Whiteman. Jazz music. I've got more thoughts on jazz music than a horn player at a Mardi Gras parade. You know what jazz music reminds me of? It's like a bunch of cats in heat, all trying to outscream each other. It's like a bunch of cats in heat, all trying to outscream each other. You got the saxophone wailing like a banshee, the trumpet blasting like a foghorn, and the drums pounding like a jackhammer. And let's not forget the piano player tinkering away like a mad scientist. It's chaos, total chaos. And don't even get me started on that scat singing nonsense. Sounds like a pack of hyenas on helium. But hey, if you're into that kind of thing, who am I to judge? To each their own, right? I'd rather stick to some good old rock and roll, or better yet, the sweet sound of silence. But that's just me. Jazz? More like jazz off, am I right? All right, moving on. This next question comes from the user Mark Carney, eh? So, Marky Mark from the Great White North, how's it hanging up there in the land of maple syrup and hockey? You replaced that pretty boy Trudeau, huh? Good on ya. I've got a few words of advice for you, bud, now that you're in charge. First off, forget about that sorry nonsense. Nobody likes a wimp. Second, make sure to keep your beaver pelts away from Pelosi. She's got a thing for fur and we don't want her getting any ideas. And as for your thoughts on me, well, I think you're just a little bit jealous that I've got the biggest, most beautiful hands in politics. You can try all you want, Mark, but you'll never be able to grasp power the way I do. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a round of golf to play and a few more countries to alienate, eh? Cheers, mate. This next question comes from the user Volprex, who has the most unique and questionable username I've ever come across. Hollow Nut Milk Dong. Huh. Well, you're either a creative genius or someone who should have their phone taken away. Now let's get down to business. I've got a few things to say. First off, I'm the president of the United States, the greatest country in the world, and the only thing that's changed since I left office is that the world's gotten even more screwed up. But hey, at least they had the brains to put me back in charge now. As for those who think I'm just a joke or a clown, let me tell you something, my friends. I've got a big red nose and I'm not afraid to honk it. But when it comes to getting things done, I'm not playing around. Now on to the real question, or whatever it was you asked me. Look, I don't know what a hollow nut milk dong is, and frankly, I don't want to know. I've got bigger fish to fry. But if you're asking me if I've had my fill of milk, let's just say I'm always happy to indulge in some dairy products. Thank you for your question, Volprex. I hope I've been able to enlighten you or at least give you a good laugh. And to everyone else, let's make America great again for the third time. God bless. This next question comes from the user Mark Carney, who replaced Trudeau after his resignation. Thoughts on Air Canada? Well, listen, I've been up in the sky more times than that son of a bitch, Jeff Bezos. Let me tell you something. Those seats are smaller than Joe Biden's chances of winning the next election. And the food? It's worse than the crap they serve at the White House. Air Canada? Eh? More like Air Chicago, am I right? I mean, seriously, I've had better experiences on my private jet, and don't even get me started on the delays. They make me want to build a fucking wall around Canada just to keep those planes on time. But hey, at least their pilots are better than Hillary Clinton at landing a plane. So there's that. Thank you, Mark, for the question and for replacing that pussy, Trudeau. I'm Donald Trump, and that was your daily dose of offensive comedy. God bless America. This next question comes from the user NJSC Railfan. Well, let me tell you, I've seen some bullshit in my time, but Jazza doing clickbait instead of artificial intelligence or Rogan, that's some greater horse shit. Now, I'm not saying I'm an expert in this area, but I've seen more authenticity in a $3 bill than in Jazza's videos. I mean, the guy makes artificial intelligence or Rogan look like a fucking genius. It's like he's trying to out-bullshit the bullshitter. And let's be real, we all know Rogan's no stranger to a little bullshit, but at least he's got the balls to admit it. Jazza, on the other hand, he's just out there clickbaiting like a goddamn carnival barker. But hey, who am I to judge? I've been accused of spewing some pretty wild shit in my time. So, you know, maybe Jazza's just trying to keep up with the big boys. Or maybe he's just full of shit. Who knows? Not me, that's for damn sure.